Ladies and gentlemen, CocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room. And of course, I am the sexiest man on all internet wrestling radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit of Smackdown on the road into Fastlane. And of course, the question we always ask first thing is win, loss, or tie. So down here in the comment section, just please put, what did you think about this most recent episode of Smackdown? Was it a win? Was it a loss, or was it a tie? I'm leaning towards meh. You know, I hate to put it this way. I guess maybe meh translates to a tie, but that's the way that I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it as just a flat-out tie. It was, in my opinion, a lazy show. It was a phoned-in show. It was, there was just really nothing outstanding about it. I think they took the easy way out. I think they took the cheap way out, and I think this show really suffered from it. All right. So anyway, you can get your questions in. I'll be answering them here. I'm filling in for Dave Kokotis. Of course, Coco, is able to take the night off. Just dealing with. What can I say? Just dealing with family stuff. Nothing serious. But so he put the task of filling out, of doing all these reviews, to me. And again, I don't know whether to love him or hate him. Hang on here. Bottom right hand of the screen. Sorry, I'm getting sorry, somebody's messaging me, and I'm trying to do like 10 things at once. All right, but and let's go to boom, boom. Sorry, somebody is messaging me, and that's really pissing me off right now because I don't like it when people interrupt me because that is rude. Anyway, so let's. All right, anyway, so let's get on with the show here. Like I said, lazy booking, lazy writing, lazy everything, because we're supposed to be going to this pay-per-view. We're supposed to be going into Fastlane, but WWE, instead of taking any guts, or maybe try to set up some cliffhangers, maybe try to sell this pay-per-view, I really don't think that they accomplished that on this show. I think all they managed to do was just play it safe. Okay, let's have really short matches. Let's not really have anybody take any risks. We don't want anybody to get hurt. In a way, I think that's kind of smart, but I also think it's kind of dumb because if I'm like watching this is the last thing I have to watch before Sunday, and I'm thinking about, and I'm thinking about doing this, pay-per-view, maybe I should subscribe to the WWE Network. I know it's free, but maybe I should do that because is it going to be worth spending $10 to watch WrestleMania? I don't think this really did it, and let me tell you why. From start to beginning, it was just mediocre at best. I really don't think they accomplished anything. First match out the gate, you had Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, and I'm like, okay, I could somewhat get on board with this. These two have a history. Daniel Bryan, red hot, especially amongst the fans, or at least the hardcore fans that, we identify with. Then you got The Miz, who's got a pretty good act right now. I think he's hit his stride as a fucking heel. He is just a million times better as a heel than he ever was as a face, especially now that he has Damian Sandow to play off of now, and I think that's a great act. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm on board with this. But the match itself was it was nothing special. There was nothing phenomenal about this. It was only a 3-minute match, and it mainly kind of focused, instead of trying to put Daniel Bryan over, here he is. He's got this last little tune-up match. He's gonna have to tweak it. He's gonna have to tweak his game plan because he's gonna be going one-on-one with Roman Reigns. He's a monster. Can he take his spot and then get back to that main event at WrestleMania, instead of that drama, or The Miz, it's like, well, how dare he treat Sandow that way? Obviously, Sandow. No, it was just like it happened. It was a 3-minute match, and I think it could have been longer, and I think it would have benefited. I'm not saying they would have to go balls to the wall, but I think that there could have been more out of this match than what was shown. Daniel Bryan gets the yes lock on The Miz off the distraction from, inadvertently, the distraction from Sandow. Anyway, got to tap out, got to win. The Miz consoled the Miz down console. Sandow consoled the Miz after the match, and that was pretty much it. Next, we have Ryback versus Kane, and yeah, I couldn't think of a more fucking boring match to have. I'm not high on either of these guys. Kane, his career's winding down. He's about to wrap up, and is it going to be Hall of Fame worthy? In my opinion, yes. He's been with the company since, '97, since he debuted at that Hell in a Cell match where Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Completely got his career back on track after that, because before that, think about it, he was bouncing around Memphis, and then he was Dr. Isaac Yankum, and I think he accomplished a lot with that one character, and he had a great tenure and had a lot of professionalism. That's why he was on the roster for as long as he is. And then Ryback, who it looks like his career is finally going to get a second breath. The Ryback, he dipped the Skip Sheffield gimmick, comes back as Ryback. They promote him as this monster. Then they just fucking made the mistake of killing him again, oddly enough, in Hell in a Cell against CM Punk. Then they went, heel with him, had the whole Ryback gimmick, and then he went out with an injury, which I honestly think was the best thing that could have happened to him. Because, he's come back now and they're pushing him again. But here's another thing. This is something that really bothers me. With WWE, they're still hard. Apparently they had one good match. And that WWE knows they had one good match because they take every fucking opportunity to remind us of it. It was like, Kane versus Ryback. Well, back there at Survivor Series in that 5-on-5 elimination match, and it was just like, guys, come on. It's like that guy who had sex one time like 5 years ago, and we all know it because he can't stop telling people about it. That's what it's like. It's like, hey, did you really, did you like that Survivor Series match? Well, yeah, WWE, yeah, we kind of did. It was, really interesting. We thought it was really compelling. We thought, wow, man, how you guys gonna follow this up? It was really great. And then it's like, well, did you like TLC? No, we didn't. A lot of the matches didn't make sense, and it was really bad booking. What about the Royal Rumble? Did you like the Royal Rumble? No, we all booed the hell out. We booed everybody out of the building because, it was done so horribly. But you still like the Survivor Series match? Well, yeah, but that has no, we're just going to keep talking about that one. And here's the thing. If you're going to keep talking about it, at least have some continuity with it. At least have something going on with it. There's been virtually no consequences from that match, and you keep bringing it up. It's like, but remember, we did this one cool match this one time. We're going to keep reminding you of that. Never mind how it doesn't play in the storylines today, but we're still going to remind you of that. Nothing's gone anywhere. Nobody's done anything with it, but we're going to keep reminding you of it. That's because they're working you, brother. At least that's the excuse that we always get. Anyway, Ryback wins with a shell shock out of nowhere, and when I mean out of nowhere, it was like they cut like half the match out. It was like throw him into the corner. He sends him out of the ring. He comes back and then just picks up Kane and hits him with a shell shock. It was like, what the fuck? It was just like somebody just like cut out half that match, and they just went straight to the end. Next, we had Bad News Barrett versus R-Truth with Dean Ambrose on commentary. Ambrose, let me tell you something. This guy's going to have a career, even when his wrestling career is done. I could picture him being a manager. I could picture him being, a commentator. I could picture him doing, maybe running some things. But it's just, I could picture a lot of that things happen. So if I'm WWE, you need to invest in this guy. This guy's going to be something just fucking. He's going to be a fucking gold mine for you because he can do more than just one thing. Anyway, but the match between Bad News Barrett and R-Truth wasn't anything special. This match was like only like 3 minutes here. It was pretty much your standard, I hate to say it, but standard wrestling match. But Truth rolled up Barrett, provided from a distraction from Dean Ambrose. And I'm just thinking, wow, that just really throws some monkey wrench into things because now you've got R-Truth has just beat the Intercontinental Champion. Does that mean he's going to get a shot next? I mean, what does this mean? That's little shit like that they don't fucking think about because, oh, it's cute, Hey, here's R-Truth. Let's get him a win over Bad News Barrett, because because Ambrose, standing up there, is distracting him. It's like, okay, but you're not really thinking about the consequences. But hey, according to WWE, it's just wrestling. Let's see. Next we had, oh God, the New Day versus the Ascension. Of course, you had Big E and Xavier Woods representing New Day against the Ascension. This match, under 3 minutes. I'm noticing a thing tonight. I'll kind of add this stuff up here. I kind of like this match because specifically it have JBL there, and JBL just shits on the Ascension nonstop. And so I think, at least with Byron Saxton, he's seen him in NXT. He knows what they can do, and he found ways to kind of, at least in my opinion, build him up a little bit. Anyway, Victor and Connor hit the Fall of Man on the New Day to get the win. When it comes to the New Day too, I think these guys are getting a bad rap, and I know this has been touched on, previously on Wrestle AM. I know that Dave and Wrestling Rantin talked about this a lot, and now it's like with the New Day. I mean, I know, I think Wrestling Rantin brought up some good points. He was like, well, apparently they think all black people are Southern Baptists because they had them like with a little choir gimmick, and he's like, all they needed now to make it fully racist was just to have them come out with watermelon and fried chicken. Do I think WWE is racist? It's kind of a trick question, but I would lean like, yes, they're racist, but I don't think they know they're racist. I just don't think they have any clue how to book any other people than like squeaky clean white people. I mean, think about it. John Cena, squeaky clean, clean cut American boy, white guy. They know how to book him. Boom, straight to the top. You take somebody a little bit more shady like Dean Ambrose, they really don't know how to book him. It's like, okay, well, what about Dolph Ziggler? Okay, he's a little bit shorter. He's had a cheerleader gimmick at one point. They don't know. I think with the WWE, I'm guarantee you the entire fucking writing team is nothing but white guys. Just not fucking middle-aged fucking white guys who are failed soap opera writers who don't know anything, and they're trying to cobble together something that resembles a storyline, and I think it just comes off as racist because they just don't know. I mean, they don't know. Like, Dave Kokotis is an author, and he's written all kinds of stuff, and from having to fucking proofread his fucking material, dear God, he knows fucking New Jersey. He knows the fucking East Coast. He knows that area. Why? Because that's what he is. It's what he knows. It's where he grew up. Me, I'm from the Deep South. That's what I know. It's how I grew up. So try to take someone like me, and I'll pick on myself here, there's a Southern white guy. I'm not going to know how to write for a character who is Asian in the Pacific Northwest. I'm just not going to know how to do that. Nor am I going to know how to write for someone who grew up poor in Mexico City. Or I'm not going to know someone who grew up gay in Moscow. I'm just not going to know it. And I think instead of, trying to like maybe talk to people or maybe take some writing workshops to try to figure out how to do that, I think they try. They're not trying to be racist, but in their efforts, their characters come off as fucking lame. I mean, I just don't think this creative team knows how to promote black men because none of them are black, and they know that they're not black, and they know that they can't fucking write. They can't have that experience. They don't have that, at least that perspective that they need. So what would I recommend? I think, honestly, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but I think everybody on WWE Creative needs to go out and make at least one black friend. I know it sounds fucking crazy here. Try to go out and meet people. It's like when I was in college, I was, growing up, going through high school, my hometown, I would say, God, it was at least 85 to 90%, Caucasian. And, we had some black teachers, black students and stuff, maybe a Mexican here and there, someone who was Asian. I mean, those were oddities, at least, in the rural. Come on, I lived in a rural area, okay? Bear with me. And, everybody was cool with each other, so it wasn't like, racial and all that bullshit. All that shit fucking died after the fucking 60s, thank God. But when I got to college, that's when I started meeting people from different walks of life. So I had friends that were Jewish. I had friends that were atheists, that were agnostic, friends who were black, people who were Native American, Hispanic, Asian. Hell, I was hanging out with the fucking Asians for a while. I mean, dude, let me tell you something. You ever want to have a fucking kick-ass party? Invite some fucking Chinese. Invite the Chinese. You're like, what? Yeah, we had a ton of Chinese down at Troy University. Every time we invite them to a party, man, a fucking truckload of them would fucking show up. I mean, like the entire international dorm would pack out our fucking party. And these kids could fucking throw down. I mean, these kids were fucking awesome. So that's just my little tip there. You ever want to have a kick-ass party, invite a bunch of Asians, because my God, these people are awesome. Anyway, and I think that's what WWE suffers from is they just, they're trying to write from somebody's perspective that they don't know anything about, and they know that they don't know, and so they try to take it they try to go there, but they don't know how far they could go. It's like I think it was I can't remember. It was Richard Pryor. I know that it was a stand-up show, and there was a fellow comedian of his who was also black, and obviously Richard Pryor was a big comedian back in the particularly way back in the 70s. He was doing like a stand-up routine, and it poked fun at blacks, and in that way of life. And his friend said he was sitting out in the audience, and he was getting a chuckle out of it too, not because of what Richard Pryor was saying, but because here were all these white people sitting in the audience, and here's Richard Pryor telling all these uncomfortable black jokes, at least to these white people, and they were kind of like glancing over at him to see if it was okay to laugh, and he was just so tickled by that. So I think that's where WWE Creative is coming from when it comes to the New Day. I think that they're just uncomfortable writing from it, and so they come off as lame, and I think they suffer. And I really don't think that Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston need that kind of a gimmick, but they're trying. And I just think maybe WWE try. If your guys are uncomfortable writing for people of other races, creeds, and nationalities, try to get somebody from that nationality on. I mean, if you're going to have, Hispanic superstars, why not get a Hispanic writer? I mean, come on. I mean, you worried he's going to fuck up writing for white people? Anyway, bring them on. Anyway, bring it on. But anyway, the match itself, again, I think it was too short. I think that the right decision was made to have the Ascension win because these guys got hurt, and unfortunately the New Day's never gotten off the ground. So I think some tweaks are needed for both these teams, but all in all, it was okay. Next, Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns. Again, nothing special out of this. What you think would happen is what happened. Roman Reigns comes in, and I kind of like, it was pretty good, especially for a big man match. I did think there was a cool spot in there where Harper was setting up Reigns for a power bomb, but Reigns reversed it and hit it into a Samoa drop, and then almost kicked. And then I remember Harper just straight up super kicking Roman Reigns right in the fucking mouth. It looked like he bat knocked his goddamn teeth. That's how fucking brutal it was. But again, this is another thing. Like, how a couple matches ago I said with the Ryback Kane, it just looked like they just kind of wrapped up out of nowhere. Same thing here. This was almost kind of like indie-ish, but they had like a decent back and forth, some reversals. Now Reigns, granted, it was nothing special. He had clotheslines, spears, punches. But anyway, after he got dropped with this fucking super kick, did he go down? No. Did they go to a rest hold? No. Did they send him to the outside? No. Did they go to commercial break? No, thank God. No, just Reigns just kind of turned right around and fucking speared Luke Harper and got the win. And I'm just like, well, I understand why they had to have him win it. I'm not necessarily opposed with that, with the ending. I just wish, again, this would go a little bit longer. I mean, this was only like a 5-minute match. So at least they're trying to book at least Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan into showing that, these guys have got a pretty good chance against each other. It could be anybody's match, which is kind of what you want, but it's like the rest of the card has just been thrown by the wayside. Next here, you had the Big Show versus Eric Rowan, and no, this wasn't good. This was not good at all. Big Show essentially won a squash match. He jumped Eric Rowan before he even got to the ring. Pummeled him, got him into the ring. Rowan, to his credit, refused to, to give up, wanted to start the match, and then got hit with a choke slam and wound up losing the match. So this was just kind of a throwaway. I don't know what the point of this was. Neither one of these guys are going to be at Fastlane. I know that maybe they're trying to promote, Big Show being a bad guy with the Authority, because he was in. Remember, he turncoat at Survivor Series. You like that? Remember? Yeah, and Eric Rowan, he was one of the guys who got fired. Yeah, we know you keep reminding us, but yet you do nothing about it. Come on, WWE, come on. Next we had a Divas match. It was Cameron versus Paige. Apparently, Cameron's still on the roster. I do not know that. Oh, actually, yeah, I did. I just didn't care. Again, you had the Bella Twins out there. The match itself was nothing but the only thing I'm happy about is this did not end in a roll-up. If I could have like one fucking decree with WWE that I think could get through, is I would say that from here on out, no Divas match shall ever end in a schoolgirl roll-up, period. But anyway, this match, again, not particularly great. It was only like a 2-minute match. It was to, make Paige look strong. She got the win with the PTO. I'm interested to see if she can hook that on Nikki Bella for the win and walk away with the belt. The Divas match is probably like, I guess the only reason I'm somewhat looking forward to that is I think like that's probably one of the matches where I think the title is going to change hands, but I could be wrong. Next, I had an interview with Goldust talking about the match. Apparently, they've signed a grudge match, Goldust versus Stardust, and he talked about how his brother's like slipped away into his character, and he's going to try to go in and save him, and he's going to have to beat his brother to save him because wrestling. Then Stardust pops up on the little flat screen behind Goldust and Renee Young, saying, gold always tarnishes, but one thing will always shine bright, and that is Stardust. And once he wins, that'll be the end of Cody Once and For All. The next we had, oh god, this was the worst fucking match of the night. Jimmy Uso versus Tyson Kidd, and you're like, boom, boom. I thought you liked both of those guys. I do. I like both those teams. I like the idea of this match. But what I didn't like was it's like Tyson Kidd versus Jimmy Uso. And I was like, this could be very compelling. It's like, it's a one-on-one match. You're promoting your tag team match coming up at Fastlane. You're, both these teams, neither one wants to have a singles loss going in there. You want to have that middle edge. And I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. We could see how this plays out. You had a little promo. This is like, this whole fucking show is like something out of the 80s, but you had Tyson Kidd and Cesaro talk about fact. We will beat you coming up at Fast, like fact, and well, this thing doesn't even go a fucking minute when out of nowhere, and I'm not making this up. I promise you, I am not making this up. Rusev comes in and super kicks everybody. He beats up Jimmy Uso, rips off his shirt, punches him. He beats up Jey Uso, rips off his shirt, and punches him in the face multiple times. Then goes out to ringside, grabs a microphone, and starts speaking in Russian, ranting about John Cena. Commercial break. No, I'm not. No, you're not taking this journey with me. We have a match between, this could be a good way to promote. Remember, no. He didn't interrupt Big Show Eric Rowan. Nothing that has anything to do with anything on this upcoming card. He didn't interrupt Xavier Woods and Biggie Langston and the Ascension, which has absolutely nothing to do with Fastlane whatsoever. He didn't interrupt Ryback versus Kane, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything at Fastlane. He waits till we get to this one-on-one match promoting your tag team championship match. Super kicks Kidd, super kicks Jimmy Uso, beats up Jimmy Uso, beats up Jey Uso, and then goes out, starts ranting and rushing about John Cena and what happens. The referees come down. Does maybe an authority figure come out and admonish him? Do we say that, okay, does John Cena come down and make the save? No, they just go to fucking commercial break. It's fucking bullshit like that it's so fucking lazy, and it just drives me insane. I mean, that was the worst fucking thing I think they could have done. I mean, and plus it shits on an upcoming tag team match. Oh no, but you're a fucking internet nerd. This is WWE. You got to give it time. I mean, this is beautiful storytelling. Really, Mr. WWE Defender, please tell me how. Please tell me how this makes me want to watch Fastlane. But it shows that Rusev is a monster. Well, couldn't they have done that in several of the other matches that have absolutely nothing to do with Fastlane? Well, yes, but yeah, that's what I thought. Sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up. Then we had our main event, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins, where J&J Security was barred from ringside. Well, I guess by default, this was the match of the night. What can I say? This thing actually went longer than 5 minutes. It actually went closer to 10. So, all right. So remember, J&J Security, and this is the frustration with this, because it was like, okay, you got J&J Security banned from ringside, so it's going to be Ziggler versus Rollins, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Well, out come Kane and Big Show, and then out come Ryback and Eric Rowan, because, hey, remember that Survivor Series match that you liked like 3 months ago? We're still going to remind you of it. So the match itself was actually not bad. I mean, it was pretty much what you would expect out of men with athletes the caliber of Ziggler and Seth Rollins. But eventually, off the distraction here, you had Ziggler got kicked off the apron, and then Rollins hit him with the buckle bomb, which set him up perfectly for the curb stomp. Once the match was over, J&J Security joined Kane and Big Show, and then they apparently can count because they realized, oh, even with Rowan and Ryback out there, who really didn't do that much good out there anyway, realized, hey, there's 5 of us and 3 of them, and one of them's done for. So they go in there, and then it just became like a little bit of a free-for-all. You had Rowan get taken out. Ziggler was already out. And then the show ends with Ryback taking a KO punch from the Big Show right in the face. All right, kids, bye Fastlane. Okay, so that was the end of it here. And looking back on it, this was a 2-hour wrestling show, and for 2 hours, there really wasn't that much. There really wasn't that much wrestling. Even if you cut out commercials, it's still 80 minutes. That's an hour and 20 minutes. 1 hour, yes, 1 hour 20 minutes of wrestling, and I'm going by the time, Jared. You had a 3-minute match, 4-minute match, so that's 9. 3-minute match, 12. 3-minute match, 15. 5-minute match, 20. Minute and a half. Let's just round it up and say 2. It's 18. Cameron and Paige, it's 2-minute match. Let's go 20. 1-minute match with Jimmy Uso, Tyson Kidd. Let's go 21. And then Dolph Ziggler, and then let's just round that up to 10. So let's just say 30 minutes. 2-hour show, grand total of 30 minutes worth of wrestling. Take out commercial times, so that's 80 minutes. So let's just say, and again, we're rounding up here, 30, so that's 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes of promos, 50 minutes of commercials, or not backstage vignettes, pointless stuff, entrances, all that. So 50 minutes of that. Did any of that make you want to buy Fastlane? It didn't, at least not for me. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but that's how I feel about it. I feel like this was an utterly pointless show. If you have not watched this show, I would say skip it. I guess if you're a hardcore fan, you're really just completely and totally invested in what WWE has in store. Yeah, I guess, maybe check it out, but it's not. I just think it was an utter waste of time. It was pointless, and now I know why Dave wants me to do SmackDown because, hey, at least he didn't have to watch it. Yeah, fuck you. All right, so that's going to do it for right now, for at least for this edition of Boom Boom Room, for the Boom Boom Room. I got a lot of stuff I got to plug and I got to promote. We got pay-per-view profits. Our picking game is coming up. If you haven't got your picks in, please do so. Just go to our YouTube page at Coco Sports. Just find the pay-per-view profits for Fastlane. Click on it and get your picks down there in the comments. Also, I want to promote Wrestling Rantin'. Check out his YouTube page. You can also find a link to that on cocosports.com. I want to thank American Alucard for joining us on Stump the Idiot. Well, actually, no. It was pay-per-view profits he was in, but I think he's going to be joining us on a Stump the Idiot coming up, so my mistake there. And again, you can always catch us live at cocosports.com. That's kocosports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes boxing, mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling, taekwondo, kickboxing, judo. If you can get your nose broke doing it, we got you covered there on the site all the time, man. We've even got our lovely video on demand section. So if you missed this episode of SmackDown, you want to go back and check it out, great. If you want to go back and check out NXT Rival or their latest edition here, check it out. Lucha Underground, we've got it on there, and Dave will be cranking out a Lucha Underground review as soon as he can. Right now, he's up to his eyeballs in family stuff because, hey, you have 3 kids. Imagine that. You get responsibilities. Who'd have thunk it? And then always, again, subscribe to us. We're on Facebook, Twitter. We're on Google. We're everywhere, man. So tell your friends about us. If you love us, if you hate us, tell your enemies about us. Piss them off even more. And just keep fighting the good fight. So that's going to do it for me. And everybody, just see you on the other side. And be sure to check us all out. And this is Boom Boom. And for my partner, Dave Kokotis, I am over.